Welcome to the RPG Podcast.
And we are live.
Oh, God, Patton!
Presented by SHEATH. A Time Wheel production.
What's up, everyone? Thank you once again for joining me on another episode of the Robert Patton Global Podcast, where we try to teach you what it takes to be successful in the world today through the experiences that I've had as well as my guests. Today, we have joining us Gilbert Smith, former UFC fighter, former Ultimate Fighter contestant on season 17 and season 25. You can find him when you Google him, and you can find him coaching at a local gym here called Victory MMA. One of the best coaches, if not the best coach I've ever studied under as well. And he's doing great things for the students he teaches and he coaches. And, I've met them. I've met some of his students and him, and I'm very pleased with the outcome of the relationships. So please enjoy this episode of the Robert Patton Global Podcast. It starts off right in the middle of things because, of course, I forgot to press record. If you want to see the very full episode, you can watch it on our Facebook Live and Instagram TV. And you'll see me go press record about 3 minutes in, but we didn't miss too much. And got a lot of good content, so enjoy the show.
With my attitude when it comes to martial art training, drilling, competing, fighting, that I should be able to be disciplined in other areas of my life. I could be disciplined with schoolwork, back when I was in school, disciplined with being a parent, being consistent with my kids, giving them, the guidance and the mentorship that they need, being consistent. And this is my area that I do the worst at in relationships, and I'm still trying to get better at that. So, but I feel like if I could draw some of the energy that I put in the gym, I could use it for other areas in my life.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you learn the discipline and the hard work, and I played basketball growing up in high school, and I feel like a lot of the things we do when we're younger are really what help or ultimately translate into how we act as adults, and how we are discipline, our work ethic, just habits. And I was passionate, and we can talk about passion, but like I played every day, whether I was injured or not, whether the weather was good or not. And I loved it, and I really it was an obsession. Yeah.
What did you play?
Shooting guard.
Okay.
Point shooting.
Oh, basketball.
Yes.
Okay, I remember you telling me that before. You played basketball, yeah.
Yeah, and just, it was interesting because I didn't make the team, and that really grinded my gears, and it really made me want to prove myself, and so it made me work that much harder just to show that I was good enough, and from 11 to 17, literally, I mean, there might have been some days, but I played every day. I was addicted to it. And then ultimately when that stopped due to injuries and bad decisions, that whole basketball career ended, but that work ethic remained. And with sports, martial arts, I feel like they both.
Well, I mean, technically, martial art is a sport.
Yes, very good point. Yeah. One of the most complex sports.
Yeah, I have a question, man. We talk a lot about hard work and bad decisions, and at least that's my theme here. What is one thing, and let's bring it back to the business side of things, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because you running a great business, selling some awesome underwear that, funny enough, I legitimately have on right now, and it's not because I was coming to talk to you. There's only pairs of underwear I wear. What is one challenge that you faced that you made a bad decision on? It's something you needed to do. You somehow made a mistake business wise, right? And how did you later on correct it? If you could come out with an example of that.
Well, I was in denial. The first thing I can think of is we did a Kickstarter, to get the company funded. We did a Kickstarter, and that is a website you can use to validate proof of concept. If you have a good idea, present it on Kickstarter, show the world. If they're called backers. They'll basically fund your project by buying it ahead of time, and if you get enough people to buy it ahead of time, you take that money, pay for production, and then they wait a few months to receive their product. And we did that in 2013, and that's really what got us launched into existence. And then everything was going great. We were successful, and we got the production. We sent out the pairs, everyone's happy, they're ordering more, and we sold out. And so I had to order more. Right. And this is how businesses run. It's like
logistics of it.
But what we received was totally unsellable on the inside. On the outside they looked good, on the inside they were like mangled. Some of them are mangled. And what I did was kind of like go into this denial mode, like they're fine. You're
talking about the actual product,
the actual underwear themselves.
After production came back, you paid for the production, and it came back, and it was not up to your standard.
It was totally. I mean, the pouch was it was very low. Sometimes it was sideways. There was threads, and the ones I would find where they were like messed up, I would just set them aside and pretend that the rest weren't also messed up. And because I just spent all my money, things are going good. I don't know. It was this weird mental
sometimes
game.
It's scary to take a back step. You're like,
what am I gonna?
You got to take a back step to make some corrections. But you're like, no, we're gonna keep pushing forward, and hopefully it just work itself out. And it didn't.
It did. Well, it didn't. And ultimately, a couple months go by. Finally, I just admitted to myself that they were messed up. We were gonna have to start all over, and with that, I like to tell kind of a little bit of a story about not giving up, because at that point...
Well, hold on. I want to clarify a couple of things. Was this a error on your design, or was it an error on the people that was making them?
The people that were making it. All I did was order more. And the first batch was good. Everyone's happy. They're ordering more. We sell out. I sold out of my entire inventory. So I ordered more from China, which is where we. China makes Apple products. They do a really good job with our current manufacturing, who we've been with since 2014, and that's where the power of positive thinking and the universe working alongside you when you don't give up. I never gave up. I was kind of mentally going through something, but once I admitted that we had to start over, I wasn't like, I'm going to quit. Because a lot of people at the first sign of failure just give up on their dreams and get a real job and whatever, it's too hard. But I was like, okay, so we got to do it again then. Now we got to do another Kickstarter. And guess what we did? We did another Kickstarter in 2014. But as that attitude kind of was playing itself out in my life at that time, I feel like the universe blessed me by sending me a new manufacturer. And they were like, can we just give us a chance? So I sent them some product that I made, and then they actually improved it. And sent it back, and so they took what I had, made it better, sent it back. And so during that interim of not being able to sell anything and trying to relaunch, I was going through a dark period of what ifs and nobody's gonna like me or whatever. I'm stupid, I'm a failure.
A lot of self-doubt.
Yes. But I remember in the middle of the night getting up and going and trying on the pair of underwear that company sent me, and I would be washed over with this relief of warm.
These are dope. These are dope.
And I knew it was going to be successful. We relaunched in 2014, did double what we did in 2013, and since then have just grown by double annually, up to this point.
Okay. I mean, and I think anybody that has ever owned a business or ran a business or running a business will know that you're going to run into those road bumps that as you're dealing with outside entities. And if you have to outsource certain parts of your business, you are taking a risk. But ultimately speaking, you are like the number one person for quality control. And so when you get products back or service back and it's not up to par, you cannot continue, because it just never gets better, right? So you got to make those adjustments, even if it costs you money. It may cost you a little bit of your reputation. You got to rebuild from scratch. I feel your pain. I feel your pain. I could tell a story that I was kind of in a similar situation, but I don't sell products, I sell service, right?
Yeah.
So I was given an opportunity. I was running a little small gym where I was like renting space from from a Krav Maga studio. I just, hey, can I have these days to teach my MMA class? He said yes. Now, another gym called Altitude MMA, they wanted to hire me on full time, put me on salary to run his MMA program. And it was a little bit more money. I was gonna have a better gym, but I was gonna be under someone that I really didn't know. And I was like, you know what, this is a step in the right direction. It's a bigger gym, a little bit more money, and I don't have to worry about competing with a Krav Maga program. So I had MMA every day. And I thought it was a good decision, but it was bad, because the mistake I made was getting into bed with someone I didn't know. I didn't do my research on that person, and come to find out that person just was not a very trustworthy person. And as far as me getting paid, it was an issue. The people that he would bring into the gym, everybody smoking and drinking, fighters hanging around, they not paying their dues. Nobody would, like, the attitude was, and I didn't have a lot of control over it because I would complain about it, but it wasn't my gym. I was just the quote unquote head coach, but at the same time, when the owner spoke, he spoke. It got to a point, there was something bad that happened, and I can't remember what it was, but it got to a point that I said, I quit. I'm done. And I actually, at that point, I thought I literally was done with teaching and coaching MMA. And I think I wrote something on Facebook, and I was like, hey guys, I'm done. I can't do the Altitude MMA thing anymore. And I didn't think the old location would want me back, because I left them. And then he hits me in my DM and he's like, hey man, if you want, you can come back. And I was like, whoa, you accept me back? And he's like, yeah, why not? I was like, I was just making him money, so why not? Yeah. So I was really happy that the Pete Krav Maga, and that's why I always loved those guys. His name is Eric. I forgot his name. His first name is Eric, but he welcomed me back. And then I started rebuilding the business to a point that I was able to make enough money to buy my own location, which is a whole nother story. And there's still some road bumps with that, because I didn't go perfect either, but soon later it got to the point that I am now. But it was a bad decision to jump into bed with someone I did not know.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I have a story about that, what we're going through. Just because someone offers you money to be a part of your business doesn't mean you should take it. And maybe, but, even though it was a bad decision, and maybe it wasn't. You never know. Like, maybe even that.
You don't know. Like I mean, it could have turned out to be one of the best things, because at that time, I did meet some really cool people. At the time, I met a boxing coach who trained with me for a while. Then I met another grappling coach named Yaku, who's actually a guy. He ended up giving me my black belt. So I met some really cool people that I'm still friends with. So it wasn't the worst decision, but I almost left the game of MMA, not just teaching and coaching, but also fighting.
What were you going to do?
And this was even before I made it to the UFC, to the Ultimate Fighter first season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and because I was like, if I can't train and coach, like if I don't have a place to train at, how can I keep fighting?
Right.
And at the time I left Krav Maga, so I felt like they didn't want me anymore or want me back, because I'm pretty sure the guy was a little bit mad that I just got up and left. Yep. Although I do think I left in the best way possible. I gave him notice and I explained him the situation. But people feel a little bit like, "Oh, you gonna leave me?" And then with Altitude, I know I couldn't stay there, and I left them. They actually ended up shutting down, and which made perfect sense because the way he was running his business. Yeah. But I was like, I don't have a place to train. I don't got nobody to train with. Like, I thought my personal fight career was over. Right. So it was a very bad, deep, dark time. It was like 2012. Yeah, 2012. Yeah.
So, I mean, have you read any books or philosophies, or what makes you? What do you think your success is a derivation of, like derivative?
I honestly, I should read more, but I don't. I've definitely read some ET books from Eric Thomas, some Tony Robbins, but I should be reading a lot more. So I'm not gonna act like I'm a big book reader. I do listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of business stuff, but at the end of the day, my attitude and drive comes from a point that I just tell myself I don't have a choice. Like I don't like
Your back's against the wall.
Yeah, man. I'm one of those guys. Like I don't have a plan B. Plan B just takes away from plan A. Like is only one way I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna keep going until I don't have anything left. I try to be as smart as possible, do my research, study, look at the situation from a couple different eyes, ask people for their advice. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to be criticized, and take that with a grain of salt, and understand that sometimes there's some really big lessons, even when someone could be insultingly or condescending with the criticism, or someone who's being just sincere with the criticism. You take it all in, and that mentality has helped me to be consistent. And plus, the biggest thing is passion.
Indeed.
Passion, man. I freaking love this. I love what I do, man. I wake up late. Listen, bro, you're a business owner. A lot of guys, you gotta understand, when you're an employee, you are told what to do. Your arguments when things ain't going right, you feel like you could do better. Your arguments only gonna go but so far. Maybe you do got a boss or a manager who's willing to take your word or whatever case, but it's only go by so far. And then also, even when you give it your all, guess what happens? Like, that person is going to make the most of the money. That's his business. That's her business. But I have my own business that I'm able to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
Love that.
Yeah, and I enjoy it, man. So I don't take it for granted, and that's why I keep working, because I don't want to lose it.
Yeah, but you also love martial arts, and you've been doing that for,
you know what they say, if you love what you do, then you never work a day in your life, you know what I'm saying? So if you put me, because my first degree, you have
2 master's degrees and a bachelor's in organizational.
So I have a bachelor's in exercise science, and I got my master's in business and a master's in management and project management.
Yes.
And but my first initial degree was in IT.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because I told you I worked in the commo field in the Army. So I was A+, N+ certified. I was Cisco certified, and I worked with a lot of computer networks, and I hated it. I thought it was kind of cool, and it was like a lot of job security, but I hated it.
Yeah.
No offense to the people I work with, but it was a point in time when I looked to my right and I looked to my left, and I saw a bunch of old, chubby guys sitting behind a computer all day long. And I said to myself, I do not want to be one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And nothing wrong with what they're doing, because they love what they do.
They're following their path.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just know I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, the universe was telling you, pulling you in another direction. This episode is also brought to you by 2 very special sponsors, very close friends of mine from Ohana Kava Bar. You can go to ohanakavabar.com and use promo code SHEATH10, and you will save 10% off your order off of some instant kava, which will make you calm and happy. It is a root from the South Pacific that you drink, and it kind of gives you, it's kind of a good alternative for alcohol. Some say it is an herbal Xanax. I say it's pretty chill. You drink it, you relax, don't drink too much. Just have a little bit, have a good time. It'll make you appreciate life a little bit more. Sometimes it's pretty good. I recommend it. And we also have what is called Kratom, Kratom, and our sponsor is soapcorner.com. That's soapkorner.com for the highest quality kratom. Purchased directly from Indonesia. Good friend of mine. I've seen him. He goes there. It's trusted tested, true. It's got the stamp of approval from the GMP for the highest quality. And you can get the various kinds, green, red, white. Kratom. If you haven't tried it, don't worry about it. But if you like it, you've tried it, this is a great company. They have great high quality kratom. So you can also use promo code SHEATH10 and save 10% off of your order. Now let's get back to the show.
So I asked myself, I was like, what do you like to do? And I was like, well, I love training. I love working out. I was like, well, can you make money doing that? I said, well, I could be a trainer. I could be a fighter. I could be a coach. I could, a personal trainer, all those things. So then I started taking some classes and got certified and ran with my degree and started traveling the world, training with the best fighters. I went to Brazil for a couple months. I went to Thailand for a couple months. I went to Amsterdam for a couple months. I trained all over the country, from Florida, American Top Team, Machine Couture, Vanderlei Silva, Monster. I just started traveling and training, and I just took in a lot of that information, and I brought it back to Colorado Springs and focused and opened up Victory MMA.
Yeah, parlayed that experience into a successful gym, which I've been to. I was a student there. I don't go as much because I moved approximately an hour away, but when I was going, I was loving it. It was, because I'd gone to jiu-jitsu gyms, freestyle MMA gyms in the past, and that's great. And I love jiu-jitsu, but I had never practiced boxing until I came to your gym and you gave me the gloves, the wraps, told me how to rap. I didn't even know how to rap.
Most people don't.
Yeah, and just hitting the pads with you and learning the combinations and stuff made me realize that it's more cerebral than you would think. You're so
right, man. It's so funny you mentioned that, because people come into the gym and think that boxing is just throwing punches, right? They're like, man, I'm undefeated in the streets. I know how to fight. I'm a super tough guy, and they punch like a little girl. No offense to little girls, because some of the little girls can punch better than some of the guys that walk through my door, which is fine. Yeah, because that means it's job security. Right? Because they don't know how to punch. I teach how to punch. Yeah. That's a perfect marriage. Yes. Right? Especially if you have the right mentality to swallow your pride and open up your mind to learn. But people do come into the gym and they realize, holy crap, boxing is actually way more difficult than they thought. That's why it's called a sweet science. There's a science to it. There's a movement to it. There's a balance to it. There's a dance to it. And it takes a lot of years. I'm still learning. I'm no Floyd Mayweather.
Or Max Holloway.
Max Holloway. He did his thing last night, didn't he? Right. But it's and that's the beauty with martial arts. You actually are never perfect. You're always training and getting better. So, it is very, very, very technical. Now, I would say the same thing about you, right? I put on underwear. I make sure that the boys are comfortable for the most part. And I ain't never thought about underwear being so scientific. You trying to make this mesh with that, or you trying to make this fits there. And what was your process with that? Trying to make that happen.
You've heard necessity is the mother of invention. Okay. And it was just an experience. It was very hot in Iraq. And, I've had an entrepreneurial mindset since I was very young. For, career day, I put on a tie and I put on a suit, and I wanted to be the president of a company. I was in 5th grade. There was a picture of me in the newspaper, Byron. That's the city I lived in. I was always wanting more, and I honestly, I had another idea when I was 20 for keys. There were crazy keys. They were keys that were also jewelry. They would have some cool design on them, maybe even a diamond. Maybe it was made out of gold, maybe some crazy shape. But it was 2000. It was the year 2000. I have drawings. I mean, when I ended up seeing them 6 years later in Walmarts and Home Depots with their favorite football team and some flower on there, I felt like I got kicked in the stomach. This is pre-SHEATH. So I saw it in 2006. I was in the Army, probably about to deploy. And this idea that I had that would have been $1 billion idea probably, I fell short of completing it because I ran into some obstacles. I did not know how to make what I saw in my mind become a reality. And I gave up. And that was one of the main lessons that I carried over with SHEATH was keep it simple, Simon.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to overcomplicate the keys and make them like too fancy. If I would have just painted a football team on there, boom, I'm in the business.
Yeah, you start there. Yeah, then you can build from there.
But and then 7 years later, I had the idea for SHEATH, and when I was going through the process, I was like, don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. Get it to market. If you wait for the product to be perfect before you bring it to market, you're never going to bring it to market. Put it out there, and then keep improving it. You got the iPhone 1, now they're at 12.
Yeah.
And with your school, you probably weren't the best coach when you first started. You've had to learn your...
Well, that's a lie. That's a lie. Shit, I was the best coach ever. No. Yeah, I tell you what, man. If you walked into my gym, the gym I have right now, when I first got it, and you see it now, like it's night and day. From the equipment we have to the layout of the gym, to even just the atmosphere of the gym. It has changed so much. Even with me, myself, and my coaching, it's so funny. I'm still teaching the same arm bars, the same jabs.
That's funny, huh?
Okay, but I'm teaching in different ways when my concept and philosophies has improved so much. And, I never got into it like and thought of it like, I gotta wait till I'm like perfect. Because I tell you the truth, I started teaching back when I was like a blue belt. You know what I'm saying? I started teaching, back when I didn't have any fights. Because I started teaching when I was in Baghdad, Iraq, in Camp Victory.
Nice.
Hence where Victory MMA came from. And because we didn't...
Victory, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, and because we didn't have any instructors or professors or coaches, I trained a little jiu-jitsu and I trained some capoeira, I just started teaching, and I started teaching soldiers, and then we start learning. I bought a bunch of DVDs, and it's back when DVDs was actually a thing, and I started watching DVDs and teaching from there. So I always went into it like I know I don't know everything, but I'm gonna teach what I do know. And then from there, every time I collect more information and I find a little bit more details, and I teach that. So it's always been a process. 10 years from now, I'll probably be 10 times, 1,000 times better.
Absolutely. I feel like you have the personality for teaching. Like you have a strong, commanding voice. You can get out there, you're not scared to tell people what to do.
Yeah.
And I think like for me, I would teach through example maybe, and maybe come on here and you can learn with me. But as far as being an instructor, I actually kind of, because I feel like I wouldn't be good at it, I kind of want to do that at some point, maybe when I'm 60 or 70, teach some business class in college, and or at least what I learned to get to where I am.
Yeah, from practical experience. And I tell you what, one of the reasons why I became, and I'll give myself some credit here, a decent teacher is because I was a good student. When I was, and even now, like even up to recent times, sometimes I go up to Denver. Back when I was fighting, I trained in Factory X, and I was a student then. I come to class and I'm ready to learn. I'm first one there, last one to leave. I'm drilling. I'm taking notes. I'm bringing the technique back home, studying, practicing. Once again, asking questions. I want to be engaged in what we are learning, and I want to be fully engulfed in the moment, because I want to internalize some of the techniques and add a philosophy to it. Because I give you an example, if I'm learning or teaching, I say how to jab. Okay, boom. So technically, I could explain it to you. You punch your left hand if you're righty, straight down the pipe. But the philosophy behind it, if you don't know the philosophy behind it, you're never going to fully understand the importance of a jab. How to jab gets you your range, gets you your timing, gets you how to maximize your reach to close the distance. How to jab sets up other punches, and the philosophies as far as why a jab is important. And when you have a good jab, how do you actually use it? People, and that's the problem. Sometimes you watch fights and you see a technique, you just want to do it, but you don't really understand why it's being done, and so you never really could pull it out accurately because you don't understand the philosophy behind it, and that's what I try to add is the philosophy behind technique, and I got that from a lot of great coaches that I train under. You know, I take stuff from everybody. A lot of my old sayings and things I've stole from people. I watch videos. I watch other people training, and I sit down and I take this stuff because it's all recycled. All of it is recycled.
So you watch other coaches coaching and learn from how.
Yeah, I'd be like, yo, I'd be on Instagram sometimes, and I'd be watching a coach. I have a couple particular coaches that I follow that I think always put out really good information, and I sit there and I'd be like, okay, that was pretty dope. We doing that on Monday. You know, and once again, and I may add my twist to it, and I add my philosophy and my wording to it. You know, and I'm okay with doing that. I don't have that ego to like, well, you know, if it's not for me, then it must not be right because I'm just Gilbert Smith. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of great legends out there that's way more advanced than I am. So why wouldn't I listen to what they have to say and learn it, practice it, and then teach it?
Yeah, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
But you're just, you know, you take what they learned and process it and, you know, spit it back out with your own character or personality.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be someone else, right? You know what I'm saying? And just like you know, with SHEATH, I would assume that there are certain aspects of making underwear and other apparel that's very fundamental to any business. Right, so you got to at least learn that.
Yes.
Okay, but then you're gonna add your style to it, your twist, your design.
Right.
Right, and that's what I'm doing.
Personality. Yeah. We're all, because you can be a tire salesman, and you know people are like, "What am I gonna do?" You just have to find your passion. You can do it. You know, like if you don't give up, most likely.
Yeah. Well, it's. I'm sorry. It's called living in your gift. Okay, when you live in your gift, you are able to excel. When you're doing something that's kind of difficult, like you're not super motivated, that's because you're not living in your gift. You know what I'm saying? When you get up and you go sell your insurance, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to feed your kids, so you're working your 9 to 5 to pay rent, and you're like wondering why your life is not the way it should be or could be. It's because you're not living in your gift. Living in your gift, when you do that, you have the opportunity to maximize all the gifts that God bless you with. And you have the opportunity to live in a way that you're gonna make you happy, okay? And so, but a lot of times people are afraid to step out because when you do that, you are, you know, anytime you're working with business, is a risk. So yes, I could go get a regular job, maybe get some benefits, which is good. You know, the guy's paying me decent, giving me some good hours, and my kids are eating. My significant other is, you know, is happy, and we all live in, you know, whatever. But am I really, really happy?
Right.
You know, like, and I got all these ideas, these talents, these abilities that I'm just holding on because I'm afraid to try it. And then you realize 20, 30 years go by and you're like, damn, what did I really do in my life? Bro, you didn't live in your gift, man.
Yeah. If it feels like you're swimming upstream, you know, constantly, you might not be living in your gift. I feel like if you're listening to the universe and feeling with the universe, like the messages it's sending you to put you on the right path, which I feel like the universe does, if you're open to it, you can find your downstream river of, you know, just flow. Yeah. You know, the flow of life, because I feel like I've got that going, but there were times in my life when I wasn't in that space and I knew I wanted to get out, and that's, you know, we all go through our journey, and you're not going to make it to the top right away, and you'll probably have to get a couple jobs during, you know, the interim.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you're not going to have to hustle. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you're not going to have to bust your butt. I'm not telling you go quit your job and go open up that, you know, that T-shirt company. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that you should take steps.
Yeah.
And follow a good process to get you to the point that you want to be. Like I tell my guys all the time. I was talking, you know, Dylan. You know, Dylan's a good friend of yours, and you know, obviously one of my top students. I told him the other day, I said, bro, dream big. Dream big. Dream so big that it scares you.
Yes.
Dream so big that other people laugh at you
Yes.
and don't think it's possible. Dream that big and multiply it by 10.
Oh.
But also work just as hard. Make sure, that's like Eric Thomas says, make sure that your grind is bigger than your dream. Not telling you to make your dream small. I'm just telling you to make your grind bigger.
Yeah.
Dream big.
Yeah.
Dream huge. Humongous. But grind harder.
Yeah.
You know, and when you do that, okay, 9 out of 10 times you're going to be successful, even if it takes a long process, even if it requires some failure, even if it's like it's going to be this hard days, you're going to find success. Sometimes you may even have to pivot. People have this one vision of success, and there's so many other opportunities to have that success. Okay, like initially, my first idea was to open up a regular fitness gym.
Okay.
You know, like honestly,
weights and
with weights and everything. I had a name. It's called. I was going to play off the UFC. It's going to be UFTC, Ultimate Fitness Training Center.
Okay.
Okay. I even wrote up a business plan that I still got on my old laptop.
I bet.
Okay. And so it wasn't actually a martial art gym. I just became really good at martial arts. And I started to compete and fight and start to win, and people started following me, wanting to train with me. So then I was like, well, I guess I just opened up a martial art gym, right? So sometimes you got to pivot and make and create and capitalize on other opportunities. But that doesn't mean you stop the grind or stop the process or stop the journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, dream big, but grind harder.
I mean, so what's one of like the most important thing that you teach a student if you want them to be successful, you know?
Don't be afraid to fail.
Okay.
Actually, so people come to my gym, they go through what's called a Donna Kruger effect. And I have a friend that hit me to this. He told me this, and I was like, I never heard of that. And then he told me what it was, and I was like, I see that every goddamn day. Okay, what is the Donna Kruger effect? So the Donna Kruger effect is like someone will come to the gym with the expectations that they're going to be good. So their confidence is at this level, but their skills are down here. Like, they don't know shit from shit. But for some reason, they feel like they're going to be, well, I used to fight in the streets. I'm a tough guy. I lift weights. So they obviously assume that fighting is going to come to them easy. And a lot of them can't do this, right? So they got no coordination. They got no really speed or athletic ability that has been nurtured. So the Dunning-Kruger effect is like, what happens is, once they realize that they kind of suck at this, which is understandable, bro, it's your day one. You're going to suck. So when they realize they kind of suck, they go through a valley of despair. And a lot of people quit. Right? So a lot of people realize that I'm not good at this, so I quit. I'm like, hold on. You are not good at this because you just started last week. People come up to me, coach, I mean, how do I get better? You keep coming to class.
Yeah.
You keep training. Like, there's no magic pill I can give you. Now, those that's willing to endure, those that are willing to humble themselves and swallow their pride and ego and understand that this is a process, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, then you go from, the high level of confidence with low level skill, you hit the valley of despair, and then now you start to build up your confidence. But your confidence is going to be congruent with your actual knowledge base. And that's when you find real success as you hit different points of like, if I was going to say jujitsu, you go from the white belt to blue belt, blue to purple, purple to brown, brown to black. Okay, and that comes with experience. Okay, now I'm a white belt, I'm getting beaten up, and now I'm a blue belt, I could do some stuff. Purple belt, I'm start to execute some things. Brown belt, I'm able to teach. Black belt, I could teach at a high level. And that confidence grow congruent with experience, real knowledge, right? And then you find level of success. So that's one of the things I tell people is, don't be afraid to fail, and understand that, like, this is a process, man. You know what I'm saying? It takes some time.
Yeah. Like, I remember when I first rolled the first time, I was, like they say, like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
And the dude mounted me, and he started spinning. He was just spinning on me, and I was just like,
what's going on?
Yeah, I was like, he was like, I'm just, he's just showing me how uncoordinated or unknowledgeable I was with that type of movement. Like, once you find like your base kind of, and you can help manipulate your opponent, once you learn kind of how that all works when you're on the ground?
Bro, like I was doing Acro Yoga today, right? And I'm new to Acro Yoga, right? So I'm learning, getting better in my learning how to base someone, and
It looks fun.
yeah, with the flexibility, we learned some cool things. A quick shout out to Sasha and Haley for teaching an awesome class today. I'm so blessed to have those young ladies teaching at my gym, teaching Acro Yoga every Sunday at 2:00, and it really brings me back to being a student. Because I don't know crap about crap when it comes to Acro Yoga. I'm messing up. My partner, her name is Julia today. I'm dropping her. We learn how to drop people correctly, and we learn how to have someone there to what's the word I'm looking for? To make sure nobody don't fall too hard. Spot.
James.
Yeah, spot. And it feels good to fail. Like, it feels good to like not be the best person in the room at something. And I'm like, hey, Sasha, I'm having a hard time. Can you teach me this again? And I'm watching her. I'm like, okay, hold on. Slow down. Do that again. Okay, so when you do this, I should do that. And then, okay, watch me. Am I doing it right? Like, it feels good to like be that student and just taking that information and understand that I'm going to fail at this, but I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep getting better. From the first time I done it was probably like early COVID when I met Sasha to now, my skills level has dramatically increased, but I'm still novice.
It's because you have a good attitude about it. You're not like, I suck. Forget it. You're like,
I quit, man. This is just not for me, man. And I quit. Like, and the worst thing about it, man, I tell people, hey, man, come to Acro. Come try it. Nah, man. I can't be doing all that, man. I'm not flexible. Like, bro, that's how you get flexible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you come there, you try something new, get out of your comfort zone, and you're going to improve in areas that you even like realize you need to improve upon. Like, and that goes a lot of different things, That's why I'm doing a 40 before 40, my bucket list. I turn 40 next year. So I got 1 year to knock out 40 things on my bucket list. And I just want to experience stuff I've never done before. And so I could hopefully learn a lot of personal growth with those new experiences. Example, you know what I've done so far? I dyed my hair blonde. I know it's a small thing, but like it was like something way wicked. And I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. I look different. I went vegan for a week. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot about eating correctly and vegan vegetables. I don't eat a lot of vegetables, so going vegan for a whole week, it really kind of educated me. And there's a bunch of stuff like that. So challenge yourself.
Yeah, doing things that maybe take you out of your comfort zone or whatever. But like, not everyone is gonna have that eagerness to learn and to really absorb it. I feel like with martial arts and stuff, you want to know it inside and out and backwards and forwards and upside down, and that's because this is your thing. This is your calling, and you're trying to portray that to other people and get help them learn it and understand it. Whereas somebody else might be like, that's not for me, and because we all have our own little thing, and it's up to the listener to find their thing, and it's usually staring at you in the face, or it's been. Like,
let this year be the year of you going and get it. Like whatever that was in the back of your mind that you wanted to do. Yeah. Let this be the year.
Yeah.
Whatever
calling to you.
Yeah. Yes. Like let this be the moment, because we learned a lot of things last year, right? And throughout the craziness.
Yes.
We learned that if there's any lessons you could take away from last year, is that you can lose it. You can lose everything, like, quickly. Like, people never thought a worldwide pandemic would happen. Businesses would be shut down for good. We never thought, how many people that would instantly pass away, from COVID or get extremely sick. We never thought that we'd be living in the times that we live in and walking around with a mask all day long, and having those arguments and situations. So do not wait for tomorrow, because you never know what could happen for tomorrow. And you're going to sit there and be like, damn, I wish I would have done it. Because now a lot of the things that we, like, I wish I'd have went to more concerts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I always keep saying, man, I'm going to go to concerts. I'm going to go to concerts. I'm going to go, and then I never go. And now I want to go to concerts, and there's no concerts. Now I have the money, I have the time, I have the availability, and now there's no concerts.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I wish I'd have got my butt up. If I had went alone or found a date or a homie, go to a freaking concert and enjoy some music. You know, and so those are the things that we have to, like, you know, cherish and capitalize on those opportunities, because you just don't know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's reminding me of the few UFC events, which we met on the plane back from, I guess it was Conor and Cerrone,
Yeah.
and Holloway fought.
It was with Max Holloway
no.
fought. It was Usman versus Colby Covington.
Yeah.
And Amanda Nunes when she fought. I can't remember who she fought. That fight was like a fight that I probably just.
I fell asleep.
Yeah,
during.
I mean, because Amanda Nunes is so dominant.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
she's fighting people that we just know just not on her level.
I know, it's not that fun. You want to see a fight, like a competitive fight.
It's not her fault. Like,
no, of course not.
Yeah.
But so, you know, but going to those events and that was the first event I'd probably ever gone to, was the Holloway and Volkanovski, and then it was Colby versus Usman and blah, blah, blah. And we met on the way back. But then I went to like two more. I went to the Cerrone one with Conor, and then I went to another one in New Mexico right before. Then it was like the last one. It was in Rancho something, New Mexico. That was fun because we got a lot, like, there's no Ubers in New Mexico, so
Really?
Not enough. There were like four. And a whole stadium trying to come out after the fights were over, and there were 4 Ubers. We ended up having to get a ride home from a police officer, which is very
Really?
kind of him to give us a ride back to our hotel. But anyways, those experiences we don't get anymore because, like you said, you know, you never know when these things are going to be taken away from you. So, like, cherish what you have, you know, take advantage of the opportunities that you have, and, you know, that thing in the back of your mind, let 2021 be the year that you put it into action.
Yeah. No, not 2022 or 2023. This is it. 2021. Let's go. Hard work, dedication. Let's go, man. You know, I'm doing like, I give an example, man. My son, I'm so excited for my son. He's so talented. The music he's putting out, and I'm going all in with them. I just finished having a meeting today with, and you sponsor my son.
Yes.
And I definitely appreciate that. It was really cool, you know, because he works pretty hard to stay fit and all those things. But I had a producer come in today because we want to do some music videos for his songs. You know, my son said it the best today. He's like, he's not a rapper, he's an artist, and I'm so excited for him. And I'm going all in with you. Like, yo, we are not gonna BS this year. We're not gonna we're gonna make big moves. And if we fail, if it doesn't work out, okay, cool. At least we know that we gave it our best. We can take your talent, and we're gonna take, you know, our hard work, and we're gonna make something happen with this, and we're gonna keep grinding until something pop off. At the end of the day, we could always say that we didn't not try.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this is gonna be that year. And I told him, I was like, I'm not holding back, man. I'm coming out the pockets. I'm like the finance, you know, and all I ask them is for, like, stay consistent, keep being talented, keep working on your craft, keep producing dope music, stay in school, right? He actually got his own job too. Take care of your daughter, because, you know, he got a daughter, I got a grandbaby. If you keep doing that, man, I'm going to support you 100%, and we're going to grind hard this year.
Yeah.
And that's my goal, man. Like, I have these goals that I set early for my New Year's resolution. You know, build my brand, build my YouTube page up, help my son establish himself as an artist, and you know, and obviously keep pushing the gym and the fighters. So, man, I'm excited. 2021, this is going to be the year. It's going to be my year. It's going to be your year. You know, no excuses, no BS. We're going to learn from the failures that happened in 2019, 2020. We're going to take all those learning lessons and be extremely successful in 2021. We're going to believe it into existence. Let's go.
Yes, believe it, see it, believe, conceive it, all that.
Yeah, let's
and
go.
you can do it. And your Victory MMA on all the social medias and on YouTube.
Yeah,
and he's in Colorado Springs. If you live in the surrounding,
I break it down because I appreciate as we wrap this up. You know what I mean? Like I jump in this shit. Like but if you once again, check me out on all the social media. On YouTube, check me out at Victory MMA Colorado Springs.
Yes.
Okay. On Instagram, you could check me out GJS for Gilbert Smith Victory MMA, or my gym page Victory MMA Colorado Springs, or you could check out my son music too, Shakur the Bag, because his middle name is Shakur because I named it after Tupac.
Yeah.
And yes, obviously on Facebook, Gilbert Smith Jr. Hit me up if you have any questions about training, martial arts, Colorado Springs. Let's go, 2021.
Yeah, I mean, of all the gyms I've been to, this is by far the best. It's straight to the point. You'll get the most out of it. And if you're in the surrounding area, I highly recommend it. Victory MMA. Great content, great teacher. Follow him, listen to him. He goes on and talks to you directly on Instagram about what he's thinking. Very wise. Definitely, listen to what he has to say. For me, I recommend books. I'm reading Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude right now by Napoleon Hill and W. Clement Stone. And it's just like everything that you do, your attitude is the one thing you have control over, and that's the one thing that's going to help you get through it. And or give up. It's just like stay positive. There's always a negative way to look at it or a positive way to look at it. And if you choose the positive, you get more positive. You choose the negative, you get more negative. What do you choose?
Yeah, it's your choice.
Yeah.
Sheath underwear, let's go.
Victory MMA, let's go. Thank you, Gilbert, for joining me once again. Gilbert Smith. If you have the Fight Pass, you can watch him on all the Ultimate Fighters.
Yeah.
What seasons? 15?
Yeah, no, season 17 and season 25. Check out season 25. I do way better in that season.
Yeah, and good dude. Yeah. Thank you again for joining me. I wanna do like a sparring match. I want you to set it up with like Patton.
Well, actually, Patton went back to Tennessee, but no, but we can set you up with
somebody that would take it easy on me.
Yeah,
be like, take it easy on me.
Yeah, I got you. Hell, I do it.
Okay, well then we'll do that, and I'm gonna get hit a couple times. Not too hard.
I hit you. No problem.
All right, cool, man.
All right, brother.
Thank you so much.